Most people believe estate planning is only for the wealthy. But here's the truth. If you have a bank account, a retirement plan, a life insurance policy, or someone you care about, you already have an estate. And if you don't plan for it, the state will. Stay with me until the end, because one small mistake in your estate plan can delay your family's money for months or even years. So let's get started. Estate planning is simply the process of deciding what happens to your money, property, and assets when you pass away. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 foundational pieces every adult should understand: beneficiaries, trusts, and probate. This applies whether you're single or married, renting or owning, working or retired, and I'll explain this in plain English. No legal jargon. Before we talk about legal documents, we need to start with the simplest and most overlooked part of estate planning. Number 1 is beneficiaries. A beneficiary is a person or organization you name to receive an asset when you pass away. This applies to life insurance policies, 401ks, IRAs, annuities, along with bank and investment accounts. Here's what many people don't realize. Beneficiary designations override your will. This is important to know, so take note of this. I even suggest you write it down. If your will says one thing, but your beneficiary form says something else, the beneficiary form wins. That's why outdated beneficiaries are one of the biggest estate planning mistakes I see. Here are the big 4 situations where updating your beneficiaries is important. Number 1 is divorce. Number 2 is someone's death, or not removing a beneficiary that may have passed away. Number 3 is remarriage. And number 4 are new children. If your beneficiaries haven't been reviewed in years, there's a real chance your money goes to the wrong person. Now, once beneficiaries are set correctly, the next question becomes how assets are managed and protected, which leads us to number 2, trust. What is a trust? A trust is a legal structure that holds assets for someone else. Think of it like a container with rules. Those rules decide who gets the money, when they get the money, and how the money can be used. Now, there are many different types of trusts, but the 2 main categories you need to understand are revocable trusts and irrevocable trusts. First, a revocable trust. A revocable trust, sometimes called a living trust, allows you to maintain control of your assets while you're alive. You can change it, you can update it, you can even cancel it. You typically serve as a trustee while you're living, which means you still manage your money and property just like you normally would. Stay with me. Here's a turnkey. When you pass away, the trust becomes irrevocable, and your chosen successor trustee steps in to distribute assets according to your instructions, without going through probate. For most families, this is the most practical and flexible option. Keep that in mind. Now let's move on. Second is an irrevocable trust. An irrevocable trust cannot easily be changed once it is created. When assets are placed into an irrevocable trust, you generally give up ownership and control of those assets. These trusts are often used for advanced estate tax strategies, asset protection planning, or Medicaid planning. They can be powerful, but they are also more complex and less flexible. So which one do I typically recommend for the average family who simply wants to avoid probate and keep things organized? In most situations, a revocable living trust makes the most sense. It provides flexibility while you're alive and efficiency after you're gone. Now, trusts are often used for 5 important areas. First, avoid probate. Second, protect minor children. Third, control financial and property distributions over time. Fourth, reduce family conflict. And fifth, provide privacy. For example, instead of giving a 21-year-old a large lump sum, a trust can release money gradually at 25 years old and then 30, or for specific purposes like education or housing. Trusts are not just for wealthy families. They're for people who want clarity, control, and protection. So what happens if there is no trust and no clear plan? Which leads up to number 3. Now, what is probate? It is the court-supervised process of distributing your assets after death. It can be minor, slow, publicly open, expensive, and emotionally draining for families. Depending on the state, probate can take months or longer. And during that time, your loved ones may not have access to funds they need for bills, mortgages, or daily living. This is why understanding the importance of beneficiaries and trusts. 1. When your assets have a named beneficiaries, this typically avoids probate. And 2, assets inside a properly structured trust can also avoid probate. This is why it's important to name and upkeep your beneficiaries along with starting a trust. The bottom line is, assets with no plan will go through the court system. This is why understanding the importance of beneficiaries and trusts. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. I worked with a family where the father passed away unexpectedly. He had life insurance and retirement accounts, but never updated his beneficiaries after a divorce. Legally, the money went to his ex-spouse, not his children. There was nothing the family could do. No lawsuit, no appeal, just paperwork that hadn't been reviewed. That situation could have been prevented with a simple beneficiary review. So what should I do right now? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's a simple starting checklist. Review all beneficiary designations. Make sure they align with your current life. Understand which assets avoid probate and which do not. Consider whether a trust makes sense for your situation. Coordinate your estate plan with your life insurance and financial accounts. Estate planning isn't about paperwork, it's about protecting people. So, what does this all mean? It means if you don't make these decisions intentionally, they'll be made for you. Estate planning gives your family clarity instead of confusion, speed instead of delay, and peace of mind during a difficult time. Now, if this content was helpful, put a thumbs up or a heart in the comment section. This will help push this message out to new listeners. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Most importantly, share this content with someone who may benefit from this topic. But don't stop here. Check out my next video on your left for more insurance and financial tips. And as I like to say, call Jay today.